Hello everyone, Junk Shop here, and this is the second of two videos on healing in Fallen Earth. This one is all about healing your team. In the first video about self-healing, I talked about the strengths and weaknesses of each heal. A good team healer knows two other important things: the range of each heal, and how to find people in chaotic situations like a raid or a PvP battle. Staunch Wound is normally your strongest heal, but also has the shortest range at 5 meters, so it's difficult to use if you can't locate your teammate. Benevolence is much easier to use with its 30-meter range, but the real workhorse of a team healer is Restoration. Not just because it has a range of 50 meters, but its instant casting makes it ideal for locating specific teammates. You've probably already noticed, but if you're standing still and use an ability on teammates or enemies, then your character will automatically turn to face them. This means the fastest way to locate a teammate is to select their name in the team window, stop, and use Restoration to immediately face them. Occasionally teammates are out of range of Restoration, but everyone has one more heal, the Alpha Mutation Patch. Patch is only limited by your render distance. It's your weakest heal, but if you can see someone, then you can use Patch on them. Just remember, Patch has a 2.5 minute cooldown, so save it specifically for when you are out of range to use other heals. For those of you interested in becoming dedicated team healers, you'll want to invest in Nano Manipulation. 3 of Nano Manipulation's abilities affect all teammates within range and with whom you have a direct line of sight. Use your maps to determine good spot to activate these abilities. You'll usually want to get in the center of a group of your allies, so your heal will affect as many people as possible. Each have considerable cooldown times, so you'll need to use them wisely. Revitalize regenerates health and lasts 30 seconds, so using it preemptively to protect against burst damage is a good strategy. Vital Osmosis, on the other hand, is better saved for when your team is in trouble, since it's a direct mass heal. Nano Manipulation's mass resurrection technique, Reconstruction, is one of the hardest abilities to use effectively in the game. It revives all visible players within a 10-meter area in front of your character, but it takes 10 grueling seconds to activate. Then the casting will cancel if you move, attack, or take damage, so you're usually limited to using it outside of combat. I've used it to revive an entire Buzzkill team after a fight where I was the only survivor, but I've never successfully used it during combat. Next we have Nano Manipulation's main heal, Filtration. I call it the main heal because its short cooldown allows you to use it often, but it has some drawbacks. This mutation is something equipped rather than something casted outright. It limits your combat abilities since activating Filtration causes it to become your secondary action, the secondary action usually being your right mouse button. If you're using dual weapons, then your primary mouse button will now automatically switch between your two weapons when holding down the button, severely limiting your offensive ability if you're used to slowing down your attacks to ensure good aim. Filtration's range is set to 100 meters, but it may as well be your render distance, just like Patch. Filtration has to be aimed, so you'll need to use Resurrection and Patch even more to find your recipients. Once you've found the ally you want to heal, just aim the reticle at them and right-click. It's easy to miss your intended target if they're far away, or if other players stand between the two of you, so you'll need decent aiming skills. There is one last team heal, but I've never used it. A healing grenade launcher, the Omega Arms Asclepius. It has the potential to be the best team heal in the game, but the AP requirements turn most people off, including me. It's hard to make a good build if you must spend so much AP just to use this team healing grenade launcher. Alright, now for the extra tips section. Know that healing a team burns through your resources very, very fast. Use buffs to keep your resource regeneration rate high, and carry items to restore your resources when they get too low, like stem surges and gamma restorers. If you're healing for a raid, use one of the resting poses between enemy waves to restore your resources faster. Dedicated team healers should focus their builds and gear on getting higher regeneration rates. Now let's discuss keeping track of your team's health. I'm sure you know the situation. You're in a raid or a PvP battle. You're focusing on multiple things at once: enemy movement, your reticle. You don't want to run into walls, so you're paying attention to the terrain. It's chaos. Analyzing your team window takes effort away from analyzing everything else. you will get tunnel vision, so managing your screen space is important to be effective during combat. Keep important windows where you can analyze them quickly while keeping track of your own movement. My UI layout is a little extreme for most people, but it works well for a dedicated team healer. Next tip. During more intense combat situations, it's common for characters to become surrounded and killed within seconds. During Citadel raids, 4 or 5 veterans surround and kill players before they can run. During PvP battles, players will team up to kill their opponents with volleys of burst damage. Too often I see players wait to heal themselves or teammates until their health is reduced to below half, but a few well-timed attacks can damage enough to kill someone at half strength. The goal of team healing is to keep your teammates alive long enough to counterattack, and players are far more likely to survive burst damage if they start at full health. So try to keep your teammates' health as close to full as you can manage. My last tips are some item recommendations. Carry some resuscitation kits to revive players while you wait for your first aid ability resuscitation to cool down. Carry some crude nail bombs to stun 5 NPCs at once. This can actually save someone if they were, say, surrounded by a group of veterans at Citadel. Sometimes you'll need healing just as much as your allies. Carry some self-healing items like metagraphs so you can save your healing abilities for your allies while using items to keep yourself alive. And finally, try very hard not to run out of bandages. Thanks for watching, I hope this video was useful to you, and I'll see you out in the wastes.